Hi, this is Andy Teach, host of Andy's Awesome Adventures, and welcome to Venice, Italy. This is Venice, baby. That is the Grand Canal.
When you think of Venice, you think of gondolas and boats gliding up and down Venice's famous canals. But there is another way of seeing Venice: walking. In fact, you just have to walk 2 steps out of the Santa Lucia train station and you already see the grandeur of the Grand Canal and the beautiful Chiesa di San Piccolo.
And here is the train station.
Some of the best advice I received was just to walk around Venice without a map, get lost and enjoy the sights. The first stop is, of course, Piazza San Marco or St. Mark's Square, and you don't need a map. Just ask anyone along the way and they'll point you in the right direction. Perhaps the main highlight of St. Mark's Square is St. Mark's Basilica, dedicated to the city's patron saint. The first building here dates to about 832 AD, but what we see here today was mostly done in the 11th century, although repairs continued into the 16th century. It features a combination of Gothic, Romantic, and Byzantine architecture. Make sure you visit the interior. It's stunning. Next is the imposing Campanile or bell tower, which is the bell tower of St. Mark's Basilica. It stands 323 feet tall, and it's one of the city's most recognizable landmarks. Originally built in the 9th century, the current version was rebuilt in 1912 after the original tower collapsed in 1902. We took the elevator to the top for some fantastic views of Venice. The Torre dell'Orologio is a Renaissance bell tower. It's also known as St. Mark's Clock Tower or the Moor's Clock Tower. The clock was built from 1496 to 1499. The 2 bronze figures ring the bells hourly. The rest of St. Mark's Square features cafes, restaurants, shops, and museums. Just around the corner is the Doge's Palace, or in Italian, Palazzo Ducale. It's a palace built in Venetian Gothic style. The palace was the residence of the Doge of Venice, the supreme authority of the former Venetian Republic. It was founded in 1340 and extended and modified in the following centuries. It became a museum in 1923. We visited the palace, and it was definitely one of the highlights of Venice. When you venture just outside the square, there's a lot to see from the Riva degli Schiavone, which is the waterfront promenade. Here's the Hotel Danieli, which was featured in the James Bond film Moonraker. San Giorgio Maggiore, or St. George's Island, is one of the islands of Venice and it's worth a visit. From the bell tower, you can get a great view of Doge's Palace and St. Mark's Campanile.
Looks like it.
In 1630, the Venetian Senate promised to build a Santa Maria della Salute in honor of the Virgin Mary if she would free the city from the plague, which had killed 1/3 of the population. After the epidemic had subsided, the Senate kept its promise and construction of the church soon started. It was finished in 1687. This is an equestrian statue of Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of a unified Italy in 1861. On either side of the monument is a woman and her winged lion. On this side is a woman dressed in royal garb and a roaring lion with its claws upon 2 closed books. The Bridge of Sighs extends from Doge's Palace. It was built in 1600, and legend has it that the view from the Bridge of Sighs was the last view that prisoners had of beautiful Venice before they were imprisoned, so they reportedly let out a sigh before taken to their cells.
Alright, that tower looks slanted to me. Perhaps due to an earthquake?
Actually, the bell tower started to lean as soon as they started building it. We then walked from St. Mark's Square and found a hidden gem, a small shop where the owner produces beautiful masks for Carnival.
So it's Magie
Magie di Carnevale.
Magie di Carnevale.
Sì.
That is the name of the store we were in. These are all handmade decorations for Carnival. And you've probably seen these masks sometimes in New Orleans, but we are here in Venice, Italy. Beautiful. And this woman makes them all by hand. What is your name?
Maria Rita.
Maria. Okay.
Maria Rita.
Okay. And look at this wall over here. I just purchased one. And if I had more room in my luggage, I'd get some of the bigger ones, but I got a small one. But these are beautiful. Handmade, either paper mache or ceramic. All different types of masks. And we are located not far from the Grand Canal, not far from St. Mark's Square. All right, enough of the tour. I think I have to pay for my mask now. Now, I don't know what street we're on, but the number is 4518.
The Chiesa di San Zaccaria is a former monastic church and was completed in 1515. It features late Gothic and Renaissance styles. It was the church for the elite in Venice. When you walk around Venice, you get to see a lot of the small side canals and can always find a bridge to cross over to the other side. At night, there's a different feel in Venice, as it's a lot quieter, and as we found out, even easier to get lost, because at 11 p.m., there's a lot less people around to ask for directions. We ended up walking 45 minutes out of our way, but thankfully, the Vaporettos were still running. The Chiesa di San Moise is a Baroque-style Roman Catholic church that is dedicated to Moses. Its facade was completed in 1668. The Rialto Bridge was the first bridge to cross the Grand Canal, and it's the most photographed. The present stone bridge was completed in 1591. Well, that's the walking tour of Venice. I hope you enjoyed it.